Welcome to this three-part mini-series created to give you quick, actionable takeaways that you can implement in your practice today to help you not only be more efficient, but keep your patients saying yes. I'm Megan Lohman, founder and co-CEO of Plan Forward. The man with all the talent that I'm honored to introduce is my friend and collaborator, Steve Anderson. If you don't know Steve, not only is he a phenomenal business leader, speaker, and author, just to name a few, but he's an even better human who has a philanthropic heart and lives by the motto of doing good. He's the founder of Total Patient Service Institute, the Crown Council, and Smiles for Life Foundation. Today, Steve will be talking about financial objections. Get your notepad ready. Here we go.
Welcome to this special edition of I Don't Have Insurance, top verbal skills for the most challenging insurance conversations, sponsored by Plan Forward. I'm Steve Anderson, and I'm excited to share in the next couple of minutes some powerful verbal skills and systems that you can use immediately to increase your case acceptance success, to hear yes more often from your patients, whether or not they have insurance. So a couple of quick tips, make sure and grab your cell phone. I'll share some resources that you can download throughout the presentation that'll help you have even greater success. So let me share my screen and we will get started. So just by way of introduction, so you know the context of where all this is coming from, I am the founder of the Total Patient Service Institute, which is an education and coaching company that works with practices to implement the highest level of patient service systems and case acceptance verbal skills in dentistry to help you hear yes more often from your patients. And we'll do a lot of that here in the next few minutes. I'm also a founder of the Crown Council, a nationwide network of top performing offices that are committed to creating a culture of success in their practice. What you'll hear in the next few minutes are results from practices all over the country that have implemented proven systems to get better success in hearing yes from their patients, especially as it has to do with insurance issues. First item is to understand that dental insurance is not medical insurance. There's a lot of misunderstandings about that, and understanding yourself that it is not meant to cover everything. Dental insurance is primarily a savings plan that helps patients get more value for their money. But medical insurance, it is not. And so the clarification and helping people understand the difference is part of our job. So what's your insurance frame? Here's just some interesting data that we know about how people perceive insurance. Is we know based on one of the most recent studies nationwide that 60% of patients with dental insurance will go to the dentist on a regular basis. In other words, it influences behavior. They perceive it as a benefit, and they are more likely to go if they have some type of coverage than if they don't. So only 40% of patients without insurance go to the dentist. So having some type of benefit does influence behavior as far as what we know from the surveys. So we'll show how we can work with that. It does positively influence behavior, even though sometimes it's a hassle for us to have to deal with it. So how we address it and how we position the whole insurance equation sometimes creates the problem. I'm going to share with you some quick phone clips from practices around the country. This is a random survey of when a patient calls and asks one of the most common questions, which is how much is a cleaning? We make the error nationwide in most cases of making insurance the primary point of decision instead of directing the conversation in a more productive place. Let's take a listen.
Hi, how much is a cleaning?
How much is a cleaning? Do you have dental insurance or just out of pocket with no insurance?
It would just be out of pocket.
Sure. Are you a patient here at our office, or would this be for a new patient?
That would be a new patient.
Sure.
Hi, I'm just wondering how much a cleaning is.
With insurance or without insurance?
Without insurance.
Can I help you?
Hi, I was just wondering how much a cleaning is.
Do you have insurance or no insurance?
No insurance.
So
Hi,
I
how
could give
much is
you
a
a
cleaning?
call after call after call, And primarily when the patient asks the question, how much is a cleaning? The first question that gets asked in response is, do you have insurance? So when we complain about patients making insurance a big deal, well, we may have created that big deal in the first place by making it one of the first questions that we ask. So it does not need to be the first question that we ask. So here's a couple of vocabulary suggestions. Words matter. At Total Patient Service, we know that the words we use can influence positively or negatively, can influence a patient's decision. So here's some words to take out of your vocabulary. Don't ever say, we're not in network, or we're out of network with your insurance. When you say that, it automatically signals to the patient they can't come to you. So never use we're out, we're not in network. Another one never to use, we don't take your insurance, or we don't take insurance. Again, that just signals to the patient I can't do business with you because you don't take my insurance. That one gets taken off the table. Your insurance will only cover. Strike the word only from your vocabulary because it signals to the patient that they have lousy benefits. So we don't ever use the word only. We don't ever use the word maxed out. Your insurance is maxed out. It won't pay any more this year. All these are negative words that negatively influence the patient away from accepting treatment. Or how about this one? You can wait until next year when your insurance renews. We're not going to wait. Insurance does not dictate treatment or timing. We don't like the word insurance coverage. We prefer the phrase your insurance savings, because that's really what it is it's a savings plan. It doesn't cover everything. It is a savings plan. And then finally, we estimate your insurance savings to be. It's never a 100% guarantee. So we estimate that your insurance savings to be whatever it is. Out of pocket, off the table, just creates a negative word picture. Our preference at Total Patient Service is your portion. So instead of saying you're out of pocket, we say your portion. So in other words, we would say, Steve, the fee, the investment for what we've talked about today is $1,500. Your insurance savings we estimate to be $500, which leaves your portion $1,000. That would be the sequence and the right wording. One of the terms that we prefer is an unrestricted provider. So any practice is free to work with all types of insurance, right? You can file for in-network benefits, out-of-network benefits. So we prefer to refer to our relationship as the dental practice is we're an unrestricted provider, which means we can work with all types of insurance, right? We're an unrestricted provider, not in-network, not out-of-network. We're an unrestricted provider. We can work with all types of insurance, and then we are going to explain exactly how we do that. And our goal, of course, is to maximize your benefits. Every patient wants to maximize their benefits, and our goal as your dental provider is to help you maximize your benefits. Now, I shared we're going to have some resources that I would recommend. And here's one of them. You can grab your cell phone and scan this QR code. In terms of maximizing benefits, this is a great way to help your patients maximize their benefits and their investment in their dental health. Dental Warranty provides the only peace of mind nationwide coverage for patients that will cover the restorative work that they've invested in up to 6 years, no fault. So no matter what happens to that work, if it has to be repaired or replaced for any reason for up to 6 years, that work is covered at no additional charge to the patient, and the practice gets paid to then repair or replace that work. So it's one more way to maximize your patient's benefits and give them the peace of mind of knowing that the investment they've made will endure regardless of what happens. So you can scan that QR code and you'll receive a peace of mind roadmap on how you can help your patients maximize their benefits by giving them more peace of mind in their whole dental treatment, so they're more likely to move ahead. Just one more factor you can add to the equation that adds more benefit to the entire patient experience. So what do you say when the patient says the following? So these are just going to be quick tips on how to respond to insurance-related questions. Do you take my insurance? Now, the response to this is obviously, what insurance do you have? And if it happens to be an insurance plan that you are not in network with, then let's go back to what we talked about earlier. You're going to use that phrase of unrestricted provider. So I would say, you would say to me, so Steve, can you share with me who your insurance benefits are with? And I give you one that you're not in network with. Then you would say, well, Steve, you're in luck. We have a lot of patients who have your benefits. Okay, now that has to be true. But in most practices, you have patients that have benefits with a company you're not in network with, and they still come to you. So if that's true, you can say, Steve, we have a lot of patients who have benefits with that same company. We don't happen to be contracted with that company because we're an unrestricted provider. That means we can work with all types of insurance. Would you like to know why our patients with your insurance, why they choose our practice? They'll say yes. And you say, well, what they tell us is that when they've looked at all of their options, they choose our practice because of the excellent clinical quality of care of our doctors and the amazing patient service. Plus, in addition, we will help you maximize your benefits by filing all of your claims for you so that you can take advantage of the savings that you have with your insurance plan. Would a Monday or Wednesday work better for you? Right. And then I'm going to go right into asking for the appointment. So there's a lot packed into that one phrase. I could take a half hour to unpack all the pieces of psychology that are in that one little phrase. But that's one of the more complicated ones. But if you work on it and refine it, then that'll help you address that common question more successfully and get more of those patients in your practice. Just a little footnote here. In just a moment, I'll give you a link so you can download the verbal skills that we're talking about today, so you don't have to scribble them all down. So application here coming. I want to see what my insurance will cover first, right? In other words, they want a predetermination. So again, I'm going to respond with what their real concern is. So you would say to me, so Steve, it sounds like you don't want any surprises. Am I right? You want to at least have some assurance of what your insurance savings will be, right? So could I make this suggestion based on the research we've done with your insurance savings? You could reasonably expect that your insurance, we estimate that your insurance will provide $500 worth of savings on this procedure. Does that make sense? And then you may have to include and remind them that that's what we estimate. That's what the insurance will provide us. Even if we submit in advance, they'll give us an estimate. And that is the best that we, all of us, will have to go on to get started. Now, if that is the case, how would you like to proceed, right? Does that make sense? So again, it's all in the questions that you ask in response. In addition, if they say, my employer said that my insurance would cover everything. Now, if all else fails, what you might do is just respond with a simple mirroring question by saying everything. In other words, ask for clarification. And then you could reply with, I totally understand, Steve. I'd be happy to research your benefits and share with you what those benefits are for your clarification. Would that help? And then, of course, you're always welcome to go back to your employer and ask for more information so that we're all on the same page together. So that is one direction to handle that question. What will my insurance cover? All right, so that's just a basic open-ended question. So then I would respond with a question and I would say, so Steve, it sounds like you're interested in maximizing your savings so you can minimize your portion. Am I right? You're interested in maximizing your savings so you can minimize your portion. Am I right? Could I share with you what we know about your benefits, and we can estimate what that insurance savings would be? Would that be helpful? So again, it's all in the questions that we respond. I'm trying to get agreement on what they're really looking for. Now, how about this comment? My insurance covers 100%. So again, I would respond with a question for clarification. I would say 100%. Have them respond to that and see what they say, because many times that's not really what they meant, right? So then after they clarify, then you could always go back and say, so Steve, it sounds like you want to maximize your benefits, right? You want to maximize your savings so you can minimize your portion. Am I right? Here's what we know about your insurance. We estimate that your insurance will provide you with $500 worth of savings on this procedure, which leaves your portion $200, whatever it is. Again, clarification, use of questions, how you reply to their questions and comments will set this down. What you don't want is to get in an argument. So what you wouldn't say to me is, Steve, well, no insurance covers 100%. I mean, that's not how you're not going to lecture, and you're not going to get in an argument. You ask questions so that we can create a dialogue for clarification. Now, how about this one? I don't have insurance, which implies for a lot of people, what they're saying is, I can't get my dentistry done because I don't have any insurance. And for many people, that's what they think. That's their perception, is they can't go to the dentist, or they say, I'm losing my insurance, whatever it is. So the response to this, again, is a question to say, so Steve, it sounds like having some type of a benefit that will help you save on your insurance investment or your dental investment is important to you. Am I right? And they'll say yes. Then you say, great. Fortunately, we have some alternatives that will provide you with some savings. Could I share those with you? They will almost always say yes. Then is a great opportunity to introduce your membership plan. So Steve, we have a great plan available to all of our patients. And many of our patients without insurance take advantage of this. And many of our patients that have insurance have transitioned over to this plan. It's a plan that we have here for our patients that, for a nominal investment every year, provides you with the benefits of your regular cleanings every year and a discounted fee schedule. Would that be something of interest to you? Again, question, right? I'm not telling, I'm asking. So we're seeing the trend across the country. Practices all over the country are implementing membership plans. And if you do not have one in your practice, you can scan this QR code for a demo of the Plan Forward membership plan that is exclusive and branded for your practice. So they are loyal to your practice, to your membership plan for your patients. So if you don't have one, I'd highly recommend you go through a demo then to figure out how you can incorporate a membership plan into your practice, especially for your patients who don't have insurance. And we're finding more and more, even patients with insurance are transitioning over to a membership plan. How about this one? I've never had to pay before. So these are for patients that maybe have been to a practice that wrote off the patient portion. Now, word of caution, depending on where you've worked and what you've done before, writing off the copay or writing off the patient portion without disclosure to the insurance company is insurance fraud. So you have, by contract, in most insurance contracts, you're obligated to collect the patient portion. If you don't collect the patient portion, then you have to disclose that to the insurance company, or else it's insurance fraud. Now, many patients have experienced this where the patient portion was just written off. And so again, what you can say, and this is one of our favorite words, is we can say, Steve, what we know now about your insurance savings in your plan is that your plan covers this much. In other words, your savings on this procedure is this much, which leaves your portion this much here. That's what we know today or now about your insurance savings. Does that make sense? In other words, I'm not going to get in an argument about their past experience with some other dentist and what they did or didn't do, or legal or illegal. I'm going to talk about what we know now, what we know today about your insurance savings. I've never gotten a bill before. Okay, this has the element of surprise. So you would mirror that back to me by saying, so Steve, it sounds like you got a surprise in the mail. Well, yes, I wasn't expecting this and I've never gotten one before. All right, so I got to address the emotion. So you're surprised. Could I help clarify what you received in the mail, what your insurance company has sent you, or what we've sent you and what we know about your insurance savings? Could I help clarify? Right, so address the emotion first. So it sounds like you got a surprise. And then ask, could I give you some additional detail around what you received in the mail? My insurance should have covered everything, right? Again, these are all related. Again, so this is the element of surprise again, to say, after the fact, and now I'm getting a bill, to say, so Steve, it sounds like you were surprised that you had a portion remaining. Am I right? Could I help clarify and go through the details and show you what your insurance savings is based on what your insurance company sent back to us, right? Question, question, question. Address the emotion first. Sounds like you were surprised. Could I help clarify? Right? So I'm not telling, I'm always asking to get agreement before I go into the explanation. How about this one? My insurance said that the crown, the filling, whatever it was not necessary. All right, so here is clarification between what is being diagnosed in treatment plan and what insurance will provide a benefit for. So again, the response to this would be a question. So it says, so Steve, it sounds like you got some information back from your insurance company that was different than what you and Dr. Anderson talked about. Am I right? So here's based on what the two of you discussed, and the reason for moving forward was XYZ. Different insurance covers and provides savings for different types of procedures. In this instance, you and Dr. Anderson decided that you would move forward in order to prevent something unnecessary or something worse in the future that your insurance does not provide a benefit for. Does that make sense? In other words, that was your mutual decision to move forward, right? So you have to differentiate between what the insurance covers and what the insurance provides versus the decision that the patient decided to make. All right, here's the next resource. This is the third one. I've gone through rapidly some verbal skills that probably sounded easy, and there's a lot behind each and every one of those verbal skills. So you can scan this QR code and download this ebook entitled Should You Be Insurance Free, that has in it some discussion about different options that you can have in your practice as it has to do with insurance, including membership plans and the verbal skills required to deal with different types of insurance discussions and questions with your patients, essential verbal skills as well as systems, so that you can handle insurance concerns with your patients even more effectively. So that was a quick trip through what is a very complicated subject. You deal with those questions every day. With insurance, it takes practice, it takes refinement to really address those appropriately so that you can get on the other side of those questions and objections with a yes from your patient. So hope those resources are helpful. Download the ebook and work on your verbal skills so you can hear yes more often from your patients, whether or not they have insurance. Thanks for joining us.